Do you like hip hop?
Of course.
Who do you like?
You know, I got to admit, lately I've been listening to a lot of Jay-Z. I mean,
Okay.
this new American Gangster album is
What do you
tight.
like about it?
Yeah, you know, it tells a story, and you know, he's, as Jay would say, he's got flow. But Kanye, I like. You know, but I have to admit that, you know, I still am an old school guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm still, you know, Stevie, Marvin. You know, if you look at my
classics.
iPod, you know, it's Earth, Wind and Fire, Isley Brothers, Temptations. You know, I mean, I've got a lot of that old school stuff. So, you know, I enjoy some of the newer stuff, and you know, honestly, I love the art of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always love the message of hip hop.
Sure.
You know, there are times where even on the ones that even with the artists I named, the artists I love, you know, there's a message that is not only sometimes degrading to women, not only uses the N-word a little too frequently, but also something I'm really concerned about is always talking about material things. You know, always talking about how I can get something. You know, how you know, I've got more money, more you know, cars, more.
But let me ask you this though,
Yeah.
because I like where you're going is great, and I think that would there be space in your White House when you talk about education, when you talk about incarceration, the reality that hip hop can engage the very young people that you have to deal with education and incarceration? Would there be a place to explore how hip hop can be effectively used?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt that it can be. You know, and I've met with Jay-Z and I've met with Kanye and talked to other artists about how potentially to bridge that gap. And you know, I think the potential for them to deliver a message of extraordinary power that gets people thinking. I mean, you know, the thing about hip hop today is it's smart. I mean, you know, it's insightful. You know, and they, you know, the way that they can communicate a complex message in a very short space is remarkable. And a lot of these kids, they're not going to be reading the New York Times.
Right.
You know, that's not how they're getting their information. So the question then is, what's the content? What's the message? I understand folks want to be rooted in the community. They want to be down. But what I always say is that, you know, hip hop is not just a mirror of what is. It should also be a reflection of what can be. And you know, a lot of times folks say, well, I want to keep it real and I want to be down. And then we're just trapped in, you know, what is. The question is, you know, imagine something different. Imagine communities that aren't torn up by violence. Imagine communities that where we're respecting our women. Imagine communities where knowledge and reading and, you know, academic excellence are valued. Imagine communities where fathers are doing right by their kids. You know, that's also something that has to be reflected. We don't. Art can't just be a rear view mirror.
Right.
You know, it should have a headlight out there. You know,
So hip
pointing
hop
to where we need to go.
needs to have the audacity of hope.
Audacity of hope.
Senator Obama, thank you so much
Appreciate
for your time.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Absolutely.